Hello. Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all doing great. I hope your week is going amazing. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be talking about how to level up your Instagram game and improve your photography overall. Platforms like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever, they're really competitive to get noticed, especially if you have a smaller following starting off. So if you want to stand out, you probably have to have something more catchy, more interesting, that's gonna make someone want to stay on your page for longer than a half a second. So unlike fuckboys, I don't want to waste your time, so let's get started right away. So the very first tip I have for you is that you gotta take your own pictures. It's really great when you have like a friend, a boyfriend, your grandma, your dog to take a picture for you, but the worst thing about that is that you are not the one improving in their skills. They are. And the whole point of today's video is to improve your photography skills and how to make your photos more interesting. And if you're relying on someone else to take photos for you, then they are the one improving their skills, and you're not getting the benefit by testing your own abilities and improving your own skills to get the picture that you want. I highly recommend you take your own pictures, and that's what I do. I love taking my own pictures for a couple reasons. Number one is that if you have someone else taking pictures of you, your pictures are probably gonna look something like this. Can you take a photo for me, please? Okay, smile. Done. So I think the bad thing about that is that you have to feel pressure to get like the amazing shot in like 1 or 2 shots, and if you don't like it, then you're gonna have to tell that person to change their angle, change the way the lighting is, or change something about it, and it won't be to what you want it. So nobody has your eye. You have your own vision of what kind of picture you want, and it's really hard to get someone else to get that vision for you. Another great thing about taking your own pictures is the amount of flexibility that allows for you. So if you go out and take your own pictures, then you are not limited by someone else's time. You can really take your own time to get all the poses that you want in, change the angle of your camera, change the lighting, or whatever, and I feel like it just allows much more time to adjust how you want things and get it perfect for exactly how you want it. So number two is to change up your location. So if you're constantly taking your own pictures in the same exact spot, guess what? It's going to get repetitive, it is going to get boring, and if you see the same exact location on an Instagram feed over and over again, chances are someone's not going to think that's very interesting and they're not going to stay on your page. So I suggest you change up your location. And that is one thing I want to talk about, because I feel like especially if you're a beginner or you're just starting out, it is really hard to get yourself comfortable in taking your pictures somewhere else, especially if it's not a really private place. And I really don't expect you to go from filming yourself or taking pictures of yourself in the privacy of your own home to like the middle of Times Square and just start shooting like a professional model. That's not it at all. What you really should do is just take some baby steps maybe. If you really want to venture out and take more interesting photos, you kind of have to get through that barrier of being nervous about it and just do it and just get practice. So I just had a recent photo shoot where I went out right here in my apartment. Around my apartment building. So is that the most public place? No. But is it less private than my own place? Yes, it is. So eventually just building up your confidence little by little, you will eventually get over the fear of people like looking at you and giving you side glances or whatever, because it really doesn't matter in the end. You have to think that you are not the center of everyone's universe. So most likely they'll probably give you like a side glance for like 1 or 2 seconds, but then they will go about their day. So the important thing is I was able to get shots like these by just getting out of my comfort zone and taking a step further and just trying out different locations. Which brings me to my third point, which I think is really important, and I think a lot of beginner photographers forget, is to take a lot of shots.
I have a clean shot, Schmidt.
Then don't take the shot.
Maybe I want to take a dirty shot.
Yeah. Because
if you clicked on this video, my guess is that you are not a professional model, but if you are, like, wow, I'm really flattered that you clicked on here. Like, I'm honored that a professional model clicked on my video. But chances are you're probably not a professional model, and for that reason, the great thing is, because because you don't have a photographer or someone telling you what to do and trying to feel the pressure of getting it done very fast or getting like that perfect shot, you really don't have to worry about all that, and you can take a lot of different shots. So because of that, you really have much more freedom to do whatever you want to do and take things at your own pace. I think a lot of people who don't do a lot of photography think that everyone just takes a snapshot or two and then you get like boom, the winning picture. But that's really not it. I think that any photographer knows that within one photo shoot, you're probably taking hundreds of shots just to get that one good grand shot that you're gonna share on your Instagram. And that's just one photo shoot in one location. To get this shot that I posted on my Instagram feed, I probably took at minimum 20 to 30 shots just to get one picture that I thought maybe might work and might be a good shot to edit and then use. And again, it is okay because you're not a professional model, so you're not wasting anyone's time by just testing out different shots. So what I really encourage you to do is try different angles, try different poses, try different things to really get that interesting shot. Alright, and then we're going to slide right in to the fourth point, which is changing up your camera angle. I think that this is a barrier that you really have to get through because you don't want the same eye level shot over and over and over again. And I think that's something that just comes very naturally to a lot of people because we naturally just take a snapshot of what we see at eye level. But little do you know, you can get really amazing shots by just changing up your camera angle a little bit. So here's an example. For this photo shoot, I did a lot of eye level shots just to get some test shots, but how boring would it be if I did every single shot just like this? So in utilizing my tripod and just changing the camera angle little by little, I was able to get shots like these. Keep in mind that I didn't even change any settings on my camera, didn't change the ISO, didn't change the lighting, didn't change anything else or the zoom. I literally just picked up my tripod and then angled it another way, and I was able to get really interesting shots. So just by changing those different angles, you can get a lot more different interesting shots in one spot. The same thing with eye level shots is that you don't want to be using the same boring poses over and over again. So one thing I highly encourage you not to do, but I feel like I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, is don't use like the basic Instagram poses. You probably know what I mean, even though if you don't really know what I'm talking about right now. It's the photos like these. Where it's very basic for Instagram. A lot of influencers use it, and it's like the hands on the hips, the head jetted sideways or up like this, and then the leg out. And while those poses are cute and can work for Instagram pictures, I feel like they just are so repeated by so many people that it gets kind of boring, and you want to try different poses that are more interesting. I feel like the first person who I really saw that kind of pose coming out was Whitney Simons, and I feel like she is famous for doing a bunch of poses like this. And you can see in this picture that she has her hand on her hips and her leg out and her head tilted upwards, and I feel like that is the iconic Whitney Simons pose, and I feel like a lot of other girls love doing that too, and she looks really great in that pose. But I feel like so many people try to copy that pose. I love Whitney Simons and I follow her, and I think that those poses work for her because she did it when it wasn't that popular yet, and also now she has a big brand name for herself, so she could do that pose and everybody would still have like a large following for her. But if you don't have a large of a following as someone like Whitney Simons, then my guess is if you do all those poses, yes, they're cute, but they're not really going to help you boost your own page because it's seen over and over again. You can literally look like on like a bunch of famous influencers pages and they all had those same poses. So yes, I am guilty of doing those poses as well, but in order to really like grow and make your Instagram more interesting and improve your own photography skill, I discourage you from using those poses. I'm sorry, Whitney, I love you though. Try different things. Again, you can take as many shots as you want, so try different things and see what works and what doesn't. So here are some poses that are really awkward that I did, but in doing trial and error, I was able to get photos like this, which were much more interesting. And if you don't really know what poses to do, go on Instagram and go on like a photographer's site or look in a magazine at like models and see what kind of poses they're doing, and then try to kind of imitate that or do something similar and just try something new other than the basic poses. Before I move on, I just want to mention real quick that it's also important to understand that you don't have to have a supermodel body to get really great Instagram shots. Look at me, I am like a midget and I have like tree trunk of limbs, so am I ever going to be a supermodel? Hell no.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really.
But that doesn't mean that I can't get really great shots. So when I moved to Los Angeles, I moved to a very Asian concentrated community, and because of that, I always felt hella fat because there are a lot of really skinny Asians that have like noodle limbs, and they look really great in their Instagram, and I just felt really insecure because I was like, I am like way too fat. I am like a whale compared to them. But over time, I just got over it with practice, and I just took pictures of myself in different angles and used different tricks to maybe look a little bit slimmer. But overall, it was just a confidence factor. You really have to increase your own confidence, and that just comes with practice. Go out and take pictures of yourself and see what works for you and what doesn't, what angles are good, what is not. And then over time, you'll just get more and more confident over yourself, so that insecurity lessens and lessens and lessens. Talking is a lot of work, which is why I try to avoid people as much as possible. Alright, so the next tip that I have for you is to plan out your photo shoot before it happens. So when I had my weird photo shoot on the stairwell, I definitely planned it out. I went into the stairwell and looked at what it looked like, and for a stairwell, you can probably imagine that there's a lot of geometric shapes. It's all squares of the stairs, hard lines of the rails, and the closed-in walls are really geometric. So what I did when I picked out my outfit was try to choose a harder, edgy kind of outfit, less color, less like floral and soft kind of feeling, but more edgy kind of look. And that's the vibe that I was going for. So I chose a blazer, which I felt like had a lot of harder edges. There wasn't a lot of color in the staircase, so I didn't go too colorful. I just chose white. So really just try to plan out what you're going to wear and what kind of location you're going to be at and what vibe you're going to go for, because just little tweaks like that can go a long way into making a really great picture. And then the last tip I have for you before we part is to take inspiration from something. So everyone is inspired by something, especially if you're a beginner. So go on Instagram, go online, or go on whatever, and then look at who inspires you, what inspires you, and try to imitate or try to take inspiration from those things that you really like. So just as an example, I really like editorial looks. I love luxury brands and their campaigns. So one thing I took inspiration from this photo shoot was from Gucci. And I obviously can't afford any luxury brand clothes, but all I did was go onto Gucci's Instagram page and looked at the photography that they had. I paid attention to what kind of models they used, what kind of clothes they were wearing, how they edited their picture, and then I tried to not imitate it, but try to take influence of that and then really try to make my photo shoot similar to that. So this is the picture that I shared on my Instagram feed, and if you look closely enough, you can tell that I took inspiration from Gucci. So the first thing was, I feel like Gucci recently had like a 1970s kind of inspiration, so I tried to kind of imitate that with the turtleneck, the blazer, and like those big glasses. Another thing I did was kind of look at Gucci's pictures, and I noticed that they had like a yellow-green tint on their photos a lot. So when I was doing post-editing for my photo, I was trying to put in that yellow-green tint and imitate that kind of like vintagey look that they were going for, and then voila, at the end I got this photo. So while it's not like 100% copy of like a Gucci photo, I feel like because I was able to take inspiration from that, I was able to improve my own skill and like learn new ways of how to pose, how to do my photos, how to edit them, and it really just helped me improve my photography skill overall. So think about that. It doesn't have to be Gucci, it doesn't have to be editorial. Think about what you like, or maybe it's an influencer that you like and you like the way that they take photos. So don't really try to copy them exactly. Try to take inspiration from them and do something similar so that you're improving your skill but developing your own style at the same time. So I am done taking up your time. Those are the tips that I have for you in order to level up your Instagram, but also improve yourself as a photographer as well. One thing I want you guys to remember that it is really hard to get noticed on Instagram or other social media platforms nowadays just because there's so many people and it's really competitive. So try to take these tips and hopefully they inspire you to get a little bit more creative or overall just improve your confidence even if you're not looking for a large following. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me today. Let me know if these tips were helpful or not. If you liked this video, please give it a like. That'd be really sweet of you. So thank you so much and I'll see you guys next time.